Atheism falls into the exact same category as religion. And before anybody runs to the comments and says, atheism is not a religion, Thomas, they don't believe in any God, why would you say something like that? But I get all of that. That's not the point. What did I say? I didn't say atheism is a religion. I said it falls into the same category. Okay, so what evidence do I have to support that kind of claim? Well, you don't have to believe in God in order to still function in the same category that religion functions in, because religion is not only about whether you believe in a deity. Religion is about how we define reality. How do we define things like meaning, morality, identity, purpose? What's wrong with the world and how can we make things right? And atheism doesn't stay as simple as rejecting a deity for very long, because the moment you say there is no God, you still have to answer the very next questions. What's the purpose of anything? Like, where do we come from? What are humans? Why does anything matter? What makes something good or evil? What gives human beings value? What's wrong with the world and how can we make it right? And most atheists do answer these questions. They might appeal to things like nature, science, evolution, reason, progress, autonomy, humans flourishing, or culture or conscience, but they're still answering the very same questions that religion is answering. Now, please hear me really clearly when I say this. I'm not anti-science whatsoever. I think science is a wonderful tool that helps us understand the natural world that's around us. But science is not built to answer ultimate questions. I mean, science actually rests on assumptions that it can't prove in a lab. I mean, for example, in order for science to function, you have to believe that truth exists. You have to believe that the world is understandable. You have to believe that the pursuit of truth is good, and you have to believe that knowledge is better than ignorance. And those are not scientific claims. Those are metaphysical claims. Those are worldview claims. Science can tell you what happens to the body biologically when you die, but it can't tell you why human beings have dignity. I mean, science can describe chemical reactions in the brain, but it can't tell you why love is meaningful. Science can observe behavior, but it can't give you an ultimate moral law. So when somebody takes science and makes that as the final authority for truth, that's no longer science, that's a worldview. And when evolution becomes a creation story, when autonomy becomes holiness, progress becomes salvation, and disagreement becomes heresy, you're operating in the exact same category as religion. And sure, you might not have things like a church building or hymns or stained glass or a formal creed, but you do have a sacred center. I mean, you've got ultimate claims, you've got moral boundaries, you've got a story of origin, a view of humanity, a definition of right and wrong, and a vision for how the world gets fixed. That's the same category as religion. So listen, I'm not saying that every atheist is religious in the way that Christians are religious. I'm saying that atheism can't remain empty, because once God is removed from the center, something else has to take its place. And maybe it's science, maybe it's reason, maybe it's progress, maybe it's autonomy, maybe it's self. But something becomes the ultimate source of authority over truth, meaning, morality, identity, and purpose. And that's why this whole conversation matters here, because Christianity is not saying pick our religious system over your non-religious life. No, Christianity is saying that you're already living under some kind of ultimate authority. The real question is whether that authority can bear the weight that you're putting on it. Because if it's self, it's going to crush you. If it's culture, it's going to change you. If it's progress, it's going to condemn you. And if it's science, you're asking a good tool to carry the weight of God, which it can never do. But if Christ is the ultimate, well, then truth isn't something we invent. Meaning is not something we pretend into existence. Morality is not a social preference. Human dignity is not an accident. And hope isn't wishful thinking. I mean, the Christian claim is that the God who made us stepped into history through Christ to rescue, redeem, and reconcile us back to himself. Which means the real question here is not, do you have religion? The real question is, who sits on the throne of your life? Because whatever is sitting there, you're living like it's God.